It's been said that the hardest people to evangelize are members of your own family. In Real People, Real Lives, and this was taped around my kitchen table. Had a heck of a time keeping our Rottweiler dog out of there. Folks talked, gave their insights on their family members' response to their embracing the Catholic Church. One of the struggles people have to come to the Catholic Church, or, Father, in your case, to grow up in the Catholic Church, is relatives who think that they're variously wrong, crazy, lost, deserve to be ignored because you have gone into this false religion, this erroneous religion. Mark, you're a convert, right?
Right.
Do you have any relatives that said, well, this is wonderful. This is great that you and our daughter or our daughter-in-law went into the Catholic Church?
If I do, I don't know about them.
But they're gentle with you, right?
Gentle, but from my experience, it was almost like we'd rather you not even be a Christian at some point than become Catholic.
Have any of the relatives shut you out?
No, I was questioned a lot, especially early on in the when I was coming into the church, and maybe not questioned that they wanted to hear the answer, but to prove me wrong.
Okay.
I found that my family has become more anti-Catholic as they moved into their adult years. Like my brother.
That's interesting.
My brother and his wife joined another church. He's my youngest brother, my baby brother, who shouldn't do that. And but he did that because it was a church that fed him in the 70s when the Catholic Church, he felt, was not feeding them spiritually, scripturally. The struggle was that they also had 5 children, and I baptized 4 of the 5, but by the time the 5th one came along, they said, we're not going to raise the child in the Catholic faith. We cannot ask you to baptize her because we know we cannot say to you what we said with the other 4. They really respect what I do and who I am. They respect the community of faith that I'm in, but they just don't feel a part of it. They don't feel that they could be a part of the Catholic community.
Esther, your situation, you were raised in the Amish community. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You converted as an adult.
Yes.
Were you shunned?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I was excommunicated. And to this day, I still have siblings that would not sit down and eat with me or drive with me. And some of them wouldn't shun me and some do. But we have been to a wedding where my nephew was married, and they sat, my daughter and I, by ourselves at a table to eat because they wouldn't sit and eat with me. And my daughter looked at me and she said, "That's okay, Mom. God is sitting with us." And she was like 14 at that time.
How many brothers and sisters you got, Father?
I have 2 younger brothers.
Both same mindset?
No, the middle brother, he and his wife, baptized, raised Catholic. I witnessed their marriage. They just don't go to church. They don't go to the Catholic Church, except for funerals and weddings. But they don't participate on any regular basis at all.
Do the folks look at you and just think somehow you're odd, weird, excessive? Something is wrong with your thinking?
Little overboard. That's too much.
That's the word,
Too
huh?
much. Too much Catholic.
Too much Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
So Mark, if you would be like Father said, which is Catholic, but I really only go for maybe sometimes on Easter and Christmas, would that be a little better?
It'd be better, right. Taking your faith serious.
Well, yeah, look at Father. He says Mass how many times a week?
How many times a week, yes.
You don't just say Mass on Christmas and Easter.
Then there's the extended family, my generation, my contemporary cousins and their children, the children's children now. Very few of them are active Catholics, although most of them have been baptized Catholics. They just have quit going to church and having a regular membership in a parish church. They will go, like I say, to weddings and funerals, but they just don't need the church.
How much have you seen people who really kind of would be interested in either resurrecting their Catholic faith or looking into the Catholic faith, and the family resistance is a wall they can't climb over? They just don't want to, they're too afraid to alienate family members. Do you see that?
Yeah, in my case, in my family case, I don't think they would be alienating the other family members. They need motivation to come to learn about the Catholic faith. I think if it's an ecumenical marriage where one's Catholic, the other is not, that Catholic has a lot of potential power to attract the other into the Catholic Church.
Good Catholic
A good
spouse,
Catholic
yeah.
spouse, yes.
Okay.
In my case, I've just got lazy spouses on both sides. And they're not convicted about the faith to talk each other back into it.
A friend of mine who is a pastor in the United Methodist Church, back when I was telling him I was coming back to the church and I was running into a lot of anti-Catholicism where I was, he was shocked. He said, I thought the days of anti-Catholicism were over. I thought that you had passed that. And I said, Reverend, I think it's because it's more emotional now. Esther, you lost a lot of family members.
Yes. They all talk to me, and they're all very nice to me, and like that. Nobody has ever, wouldn't want anything to do with me.
Well, except they won't sit with you.
They'll sit. They'll eat cafeteria style, which is you fill your plate and you sit down. Then they'll sit right next to me and eat, but they won't send a bowl around and get out of the same bowl, which is very, But majority of them will eat with me. There's like 2 or 3 that wouldn't in my family, and I'm from a family of 13, and I was the youngest of 13.
Maybe those closest to us, who resist us the most, coming into the faith, in a tiny way, Father, I know you've heard this, blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe in a tiny way, we're getting some very good Catholics because they have to really want it.